First episode of the new era of Monday Night Raw is officially in the books, and I could not wait until PWF Empire Live to talk about it. That's why I am here on YouTube right here, right now, making this video after Raw, because a lot of huge things happened on this show, but we need to get to the biggest thing first and foremost, and I'm pretty sure you can tell what's going on now. Sasha Banks is the new WWE Women's Champion. She defeated Charlotte in what was a friggin' phenomenal match, a match that scared the entire hell out of me, and I've noticed this about Sasha. I'm gonna need for you to do something, homegirl. You're gonna need to stop scaring the shit out of me, because I've noticed every time Sasha Banks gets into a really great match, she always does some shit that makes me cringe, and I'm like, oh my god, what did you do? What the hell is going on? Please just stop. It's so cringe-worthy, some of the stuff that happens, but in this weird way it adds to the drama of the match. And this one specific moment I'm talking about is when Sasha goes for the dive to Charlotte, who was on the outside of the ring, and it's like her body just crumpled over. It's like she kind of landed on her neck and her legs went over her head. It was a really friggin' crazy and scary moment. It reminded me of the moments where Lita went for the suicide dive onto Trish in the match where they main evented Monday Night Raw. It was very eerily similar to that. And just knowing all of the implications of this match that Charlotte and Sasha had on Raw, and the implications of the match with Trish and Lita, friggin' crazy situation. But mad props to Sasha Banks. Mad props to Charlotte also. I'll give you your props. I've been ragging on you, and as far as I'm concerned, for good fucking reason, because I've waited for this moment for a long ass time. I was actually in the arena at WrestleMania 32 just knowing that Sasha Banks, this was going to be her night. She was going to become the first WWE Women's Champion. She was going to serve as an amazing leader to this new women's revolution in WWE, but for some odd fucking reason, WWE chose to put the title on Charlotte. But you know that old saying, check yourself before you wreck yourself? I had to do that and realize that that was not Sasha Banks' night. It wasn't her night at all. She was not supposed to win the championship that night. The person that was supposed to win was Becky Lynch. So one way or another, WWE still fucked up. But I digress. Anyway, the reason why I say that it wasn't Sasha's night, because even me being a huge Sasha Banks fan, I had to acknowledge the fact that, outside of me being a mark for her, I had to acknowledge the fact that she wasn't really established on the main roster. And when I say established, I'm talking about this weird set of standards that I have going on in my mind. There's a certain list. It's not a definite, tangible list, but it's just shit that when I see something, I know when it's accomplished. I'm like, okay, yeah, you've made it. Come on through the door. You're on the list. Come on in. I'll welcome you. But when you don't make that list, it's like, okay, I'm going to need to see certain things from you. And we weren't really getting that character development from Sasha Banks on the main roster. She was just living off of the name that she built for herself down in NXT. And it did wonders for her when it came to the crowd reactions and things like that. But even if I like you, I don't want you to just coast on crowd reactions. That's not something that I'm willing to do, because I like you. If I like you for a reason, and I want to see you go out there and do those things, and I want to see you on a journey. I want to follow you on that journey. I want to be invested in the movements that you make, because I know who you are. I can relate to you. I know your story. I'm invested in it. And Sasha Banks, at that point in time, leading into WrestleMania, she frankly did not have that development. But fast forward to after WrestleMania, just a couple of weeks ago, she came out to the ring and she had that segment with Charlotte, and Charlotte set her up amazingly well. Charlotte was out there talking about, what the hell is a boss? I have the championship. How does that make you a boss? And Sasha Banks went out there and she told the entire world exactly what a legit boss was, what that term meant to her. And then, boom, there you go. I was like, okay, you got it. This is exactly what I wanted. And it set her up. That one promo right there, that career-defining promo so far for Sasha Banks. It set her up so that she could stand now as a WWE Women's Champion. And what an amazing moment it was. I'll tell you guys with no shame whatsoever, I was dancing all up and through this bitch. I had a one-man dance party, and it was wonderful. It was a great experience. I was actually on this chair, jumping up and down. A lot of crazy shit was going on. I did not have the camera on, but great moment nonetheless. It wasn't even about a camera at that point. It was just me being a fan of who is, someone who is my favorite wrestler in the world. And there's a reason why I have only 2 items up on my wall. I have this Sasha Banks picture right here, and I have the evolution of Triple H's career. Triple H is my favorite wrestler of all time. This happens to be my current favorite wrestler, and to put her in the same conversation as Triple H, that means something very important to me as a wrestling fan, and that's me giving props to the genius of Sasha Banks, because it's much deserved. It's so very well deserved. And just to give you guys an example of that genius, I have a friend, David. He's my former PWTR co-host. He kind of fell out of wrestling for a bit. I think he's, sliding his way back in now, but sometime last year, he was just completely done with wrestling because he was fed up with the product that WWE was putting on. And we were trying to talk to him, letting him know, like, dude, do not base your opinion on the entire wrestling world just off of WWE's main roster, because there's a lot of great shit going on out there. We were talking to him about Lucha Underground and talking to him about NXT. Like, don't get it twisted. This may be WWE's developmental territory, but little brother is whooping ass down there. The little sister shit, I could call it that, because around that time, the women's division knocking it out of the friggin' park. And one of those matches in particular where they knocked it out of the park was a match that currently stands as my favorite match of all time. Sasha Banks versus Bayley at NXT TakeOver Brooklyn. And when David, a person who at this time he was like fell completely out with wrestling, when he saw Sasha Banks in her entrance, he before she even stepped in the friggin' ring, he was like, damn, she carries herself like a world champion. And a statement like that has so much friggin' power, to say that a woman carries herself like a world champion. And notice, he didn't put any gender restrictions on it. He didn't say, oh, she carries herself like she could be a great women's champion. He said she carries herself like a world champion, because just like her theme song, the title, the sky's the friggin' limit. And knowing that she has been given those opportunities to just go out there and be good, be your awesome fucking self, no restrictions at all. I'll never forget this. Michelle McCool, when she had her match with Melina, I forget at which show it was, but a pay-per-view match where she actually got berated backstage because they said she was showing up the men. You can't be doing that good stuff. You're showing up the guys. And here we have somebody like a Sasha Banks. She's given the opportunity to just go out there and be you. And what she is a person that has character, a person that has swagger, a person that has attitude, has confidence, has great mic skills. She gets into the ring. She's agile. She's quick. She's amazing. She has a prowess about what she does with her skill in the ring. And it all comes together and it forms this absolutely amazing, fully complete superstar. Not in a sense of the WWE branded term of superstar, but a legit superstar. I was calling her a fucking superstar before WWE gave me permission to call her a superstar, because that's how awesome she is. And I'm so glad that they're giving her the opportunity on the mic and in the ring to show it. Man, what an amazing moment. What an amazing moment. Sasha Banks is now... I just spent 9 minutes talking nothing about nothing but Sasha Banks. Shit, I can do another 9 minutes, but you know what? Great moment. A lot of other stuff happened on Monday Night Raw. We had 2 fatal 4-way matches to determine the number 1 contenders to the number 1 contendership to the new WWE Universal Championship. And that match will happen, the actual Universal Championship match will happen at SummerSlam, and now it's official. It will be Finn Bálor versus Seth Rollins. And Finn Bálor, he debuted on Monday Night Raw, so he won his Fatal 4-Way match. Roman Reigns won the other one. Then they met in the main event of Monday Night Raw, and Finn Bálor actually beat Roman Reigns. Clean. Squeaky clean. Straight up. And I knew something was going down when this match was made, because I knew, like, WWE, they're not that fucking crazy to put Finn Bálor in this position and have him lose in his first singles match on Monday Night Raw. It's not going down like that at all. And it could have happened because Finn Bálor going toe-to-toe with a star of the caliber of Roman Reigns, no matter what you think about him, the fact is he's high on the totem pole in WWE. So even if Finn Bálor lost, he still would have been in a nice cushy position on the roster. But I just, for some reason, didn't think it was going to happen. I didn't, like, WWE, you can't be talking about this new era bullshit and then go pull some raggedy ass shit like that. So I knew something was off, but even with that being said, it still, like, shocked me to actually see Finn Bálor hit Roman Reigns with the coup de grace, pin him, and actually get a 3 count and get the victory. Like, I was sitting there like, holy shit, it's actually just happened. And I'll say for this Universal Championship, a match between Finn Bálor and Seth Rollins, hell yeah. Hell yeah, I'm so down for that one. And yeah, for Finn Bálor, tying back into my comments that I made about Sasha Banks earlier, I'm going to need to see that character development, WWE. I am going to need to see it, because even though I like Finn Bálor, and it's very clear a lot of other people like Finn Bálor as well, I don't want him to just coast on crowd reactions, because that does nothing for me. I know who he is down in NXT, but I need you to reestablish who Finn Bálor is up on the main roster. I am going to need for that story to be told. But on your first night, knowing that you have a desperate need to create more stars because you have more slots to fill now with the rosters not exactly being cut in half, but you get the fucking point. Raw has their guys, SmackDown has their guys. Some people need to move up. Filling one of those slots with a person like Finn Bálor and doing what you did with him on Monday Night Raw, great stuff. Now, this extends far beyond this match. If Roman Reigns did not get suspended for the wellness policy violation, would Finn Bálor have defeated him in this main event on Raw? Probably not. But we could save that conversation for another day. Right here, right now, Sasha Banks, new women's champion. Finn Bálor, #1 contender to the WWE Universal Championship. A lot of great things happening. And overall, a really entertaining episode of Monday Night Raw. I've always said this about WWE, that you can't simply just rest on making changes with the way in which you book the show. You have to give fans, like, you have to beat them over the damn head with things are changing. Things are different right now. And they've done an adequate job of that with the draft. You can't help but believe that things are changing with the draft, and you pair up that message with what felt like a different show, and you put those two together and you get magic. I really enjoyed this episode of Monday Night Raw tonight. My homegirl Nia Jax, she debuted. That was good stuff. I can't wait to see what she does on the main roster. I could go over a lot of other stuff on this show, but you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and end it right here. Oh yeah, before I go, Shining Stars for interrupting a fucking promo from Enzo Amore. Go directly to jail. Do not pass go, and do not collect $200, because that was some bullshit. And that's where I'll end this video. But, yeah, that's it. Peace, guys.